When you buy a house, you assume you're getting walls, a roof, maybe some old appliances the previous owner didn't bother taking. What no one tells you, that sometimes you inherit access, not just to the property, but to whatever, or whoever, still believes it belongs to them. This happened 3 years ago, and I still check my ceilings before I go to sleep. My wife, Mara, was 5 months pregnant when we found the place. We weren't just buying a house, we were trying again. The year before, we'd lost our first child halfway through the pregnancy. After that, our apartment felt suffocating. Every room carried memory. So when we drove into that quiet suburban cul-de-sac, it felt different, safe, a fresh start. The houses were nearly identical. Clean lawns, wind chimes, porch lights that turned on at sunset like clockwork. The place belonged to an elderly widower who had passed away peacefully in his sleep. No crime, no drama, just old age. The moment we stepped inside, Mara squeezed my hand. Natural light filled the living room. The nursery-to-be faced east. Morning sun. "I can see it," she whispered. So could I. For the first time in a long time, I felt the excitement and warmth return to her voice. Mara's eyes shone. Birthday parties in the backyard. Chalk drawings on the driveway. A dog running through sprinklers. It didn't feel like someone else's house. It felt like hours waiting for us. We moved in 2 weeks later. Life was exactly what we'd hoped for. Well, for a while at least. The first month felt like a reset button. We painted the nursery a soft sage green. Atlas, our golden retriever, claimed a spot near the staircase. Mara would sit on the back patio every evening, hands resting on her stomach, talking about baby names. We slept deeply. No strange noises. No cold spots. No uneasy feelings. Just the quiet hum of a neighborhood that shut down by 9 p.m. If anything felt off back then, I ignored it, because everything finally felt righter than before. Then things started happening. The hallway light would be on in the morning. Not every day. Just sometimes. I figured I forgot. Mara insisted she hadn't. Then a kitchen drawer started sliding open overnight. Just a few inches. Always the same one. I blamed the uneven flooring. Atlas stopped going near the basement door around that time. He wouldn't growl, wouldn't bark. He'd just stand at the end of the hallway staring at it. Still, like he was waiting for it to do something. I remember laughing it off. New house noises, stress, pregnancy brain. That's what I told Mara, and maybe what I told myself. The mug is what changed everything. I woke up early one morning, around 5, and went downstairs to make coffee. There was already a mug beside the sink, navy blue, slight chip on the rim, still wet, like it had just been rinsed. It wasn't ours. I checked every cabinet, every box in the garage. Nothing matched it. When Mara came downstairs, she saw it and froze. "You didn't?" "No." We searched the entire house. Doors locked, windows sealed, security system armed. No sign of forced entry. Atlas wouldn't even walk into the kitchen. He stood back, watching. That was the first time I felt it. Not fear, but violation. Like someone had walked through our lives quietly, and we hadn't noticed. I installed cameras that weekend. Front door, backyard, garage, hallway. I didn't tell Mara this, but I also checked the attic. Nothing. The footage showed empty rooms, still frames, hours of nothing. But Atlas started growling at night. Low, directed at the ceiling above the garage. Around the same time, I began waking up randomly at 2 or 3 a.m. Not from noise, just a feeling, like the house was awake. One night, my phone buzzed. Motion detected. 2:13 a.m. The hallway camera. I opened the app. Nothing in the frame. But at the very end of the hallway, the basement door was open, and the light was on. I know for a fact I'd turned it off. I keep mental tabs on things like that. I grabbed a bat and went downstairs. Every step felt louder than it should have. The basement was empty. Light switch flipped up. No footprints. No open windows. Nothing. That's when Mara suggested calling the realtor. Not because we thought someone was living here, but because we needed an explanation. Any explanation. I tried to keep the call casual, just small talk at first. Then I asked if the previous owner had family who might still have belongings stored somewhere. She hesitated. Well, no immediate family. There was someone who helped him, though. I didn't say anything. He had a caretaker. Not full-time, just someone who checked in. Maintenance, groceries. My stomach tightened. Do you know his name? Thomas. I believe he handled things after Mr. Hallberg passed. Do you know where he is now? I assumed he moved on, she said. Assumed. That word stayed with me. Atlas found it, or refused to ignore it. He kept scratching at the garage wall near the ceiling. There was a painted-over wooden panel I'd never noticed, screwed shut. From the outside. I don't know what made me unscrew it. Instinct, maybe. The smell hit first. Stale air, sweat, fabric. Then I lifted my phone flashlight, sleeping bag, food wrappers, water bottles, a flashlight, and photos. Of our house, from inside, of Mara on the patio, of me unloading groceries, taken recently. My hand started shaking, and that's when I heard a voice behind me. You weren't supposed to find that, he said. I turned around slowly. He looked thin, exhausted, unshaven, but calm, almost offended. I was keeping it safe, he said. He held something up between his fingers, a house key. He trusted me. My mouth went dry. You've been living here? He frowned slightly. Not living. Watching. Like I'd insulted him. You leave the side gate unlocked sometimes, he added. I fixed that. Mara was shaking behind me. You used our sink. You were asleep. I didn't want to wake you. There was no aggression in his voice, just certainty, like we were the temporary ones. Sirens started in the distance. Mara had called them. His expression changed for the first time, not fear. Sadness. They'll ruin it, he whispered. They always do. The key slipped from his fingers and hit the garage floor. Metal on concrete. Sharp. Final. We changed every lock, sealed the crawl space, installed reinforced panels. Mara gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Our baby slept in that sun-kissed sage-green-walled nursery. But when we woke up at night, it was always with the feeling that the baby cam was not the only thing keeping an eye on our baby. Became increasingly more difficult to brush that aside. We moved out 6 months later, not because he hurt us, not because he threatened us, but because every time I turned off a light, I wondered who else believed they had the right to turn it back on. We live somewhere else now, a city apartment, smaller, newly constructed. We are the first owners. Sometimes a house can imprint ownership on its walls through something more physical than memories alone. And that physical thing, or being, remembers who it belonged to. If you ever move into a place that feels too clean, too maintained, ask yourself one thing. Who else still thinks they're responsible for it?